marks followed by the site search operator, you'll be alerted whenever a new job posting is listed on their official careers page. One thing to note is that different companies obviously have different website URLs, so you just need to search for that company's official career page once, copy and paste it here, and just let it run. For example, for Google, that URL would be careers.google.com, whereas for Tesla, it would be tesla.com/careers. If you really want to get fancy, you can type in a broader organization in that company followed by an asterisk, like marketing asterisk Tesla site, tesla.com/careers, and you'll only receive job alerts if a marketing role opens up. Similarly, if you want to cover all your bases, you can simply input the company name, let's say Tesla, followed by more detail than later applications. So with Google Alerts, you can be that text in the news and blog posts. Not only will this give you a good idea of who their closest competitors are, but will also point you to well-written articles on industry trends and on challenges your target company might be facing. This is actually also a great example of how, while you probably can't use all that information in your answers to these standard interview questions, you can definitely bring that up in other scenarios to show the interviewer you've been doing your homework. For example, in this Apple Spotify case, if you were interviewing with Apple, you might bring this up during the course of small talk and say something like this. Oh, and congratulations, by the way, on the acquisition of Scout FM. It seems that you guys are really doubling down on the AI podcast bet. Alternatively, if you're interviewing with Spotify, this might be a really good question to ask at the end of the interview. So I saw that Apple recently made a strategic purchase of Scout FM. I'm curious as to how that impacts Spotify's business strategy for next year. At number 3, if you type in the company name followed by the words quarterly earnings, you start to receive more financial-oriented alerts. This is useful if you're interviewing for financial institutions like banks, private equities, and hedge funds, and you're going to be covering specific verticals like energy or tech. Or if you're gunning for a sales finance or an internal investment position at a publicly listed firm and would like to learn more about the company's financial health. The last thing I want to point out is that these alerts are only useful if you read them, so I highly recommend you set up 1 or 2 and read them on a daily or weekly basis instead of setting up 10 at once and having your inbox completely overwhelmed. If you found this first tip helpful, I actually have a Facebook group where I share exclusive weekly tips. Consider joining if you haven't already. I'll link it down below. Interview research tip number 2. Use Google Trends to understand how demand for the target company's product has changed over time. Google Trends is another free tool provided by Google, #NotSponsored, that's really popular with research analysts, but can be used for job search and interviews as well. Jumping straight into a simple example, let's say you're interviewing with Tesla or any automaker that manufactures electric vehicles. If I type in electric cars on Google Trends and show results for the past 5 years, you'll see this graph. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that when COVID hit around March in the United States, demand for electric cars decreased sharply alongside many other products. However, an interesting insight you might draw from this 5-year data is that fundamentally, user interest in electric cars and renewable energy is on the rise. And when COVID is inevitably over, the long-term outlook for the industry is extremely positive. Much like how smart investors look at the fundamentals of a company when making a stock purchase decision as opposed to isolated incidents, you can use Google Trends to learn more about the direction that user behavior is moving towards. On a more practical level, I can easily see candidates using this information when faced with the common "why do you want to work here?" interview question. You can see something like, funnily enough, I was playing around with Google Trends when I was doing my research and found that although there's a slight decrease in demand for electric cars at the start of 2020, I see that user interest has been growing steadily year on year for the past 5 years. With climate change and renewable energy being top of mind for many people, I'm certain that electric vehicles and similar innovations are here to stay. And with Tesla being at the forefront of the EV industry, I'm extremely excited to be able to bring my background and experiences to this role. Pro tip, you're usually able to uncover some very interesting insights if you do a side-by-side comparison of your target company's product with that of a competitor. For example, if you're interviewing for a business role at Google, you might learn through a Google Alert you set up from tip number 1 that over 70% of our 2020 Q2 revenue came from our Google Ads business. Taking that a step further, let's say you decide to compare interest for Google Ads to that of Facebook ads, and you see this following graph. Other than
Ma'am, you are not audible.
Now audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I am saying if you are comparing the data, okay, and then you are saying that the company has degraded its position in the market after so years, how you can help in the growth? What answer you will give to the interviewer if it is been asked? How you can help in the growth if the company is degrading its position? Yeah, it degraded at some point. Now again, gaining the position. Then it is they will ask, what if such situation occurs again? Then how will you respond? The benefits and some ideas to make new strategies. These are the questions you need to work upon. That's why you do the prior work. This is why you do the company research. You get to know about the competitors, you get to know about the new products, you get to know what products now not dealing with, products degrading the marketing, the products gaining the market positions. These are the some questions you will get answered after doing the company research only. Ideas related to untapped opportunities, yes. According to you, whenever you give your interview now, तो जो next question interviewer पूछता है वो हमेशा आपके आंसर में से होता है. So if you want, you can plan how your interview should be. आप इस तरीके से आंसर कीजिए कि कुछ ऐसे वर्ड या कुछ ऐसी टर्मिनोलॉजीज या कुछ ऐसी चीजें कि उसी पे फोकस बनता रहे. आपने कुछ आंसर किया, उसमें आपने खुद से ये क्वेश्चन डाल दिया कि ये वाली चीज भी थी, देन इसका ये वाली चीज, देन यू कैन एक डायरेक्शन दे सकते हो अपने इंटरव्यू की खुद ही. It always depends on you. Shall we resume the video?
Yes, ma'am.
Perhaps noticing Google ads started to outperform Facebook ads around the same time Jeff joined the product marketing team in 2018. This might be another great question to ask at the end of your interview. What drove the increase in user interest for Google ads versus Facebook ads in 2018? Was there simply a product update? Or did Google run a large-scale marketing campaign to raise brand awareness? Let me know down in the comments below the 2 or more products you might want to search for on Google Trends to compare their respective performances. What'd you find? Interview research tip number 3. Use the Vault Career Library to get access to exclusive reports and reviews on your target company. This tip is mainly for college students because most universities have access to Vault.com's premium databases, and that premium content is a main differentiator between Vault.com and free websites like Glassdoor and Indeed. I have lost access to the premium content since graduation, but I do distinctly remember reports like Vault's Verdict. I think this is where the writers would do primary and secondary research first, and then write a very comprehensive summary that is centralized in one location. But the free version has benefits as well. If you go to
Through my online store alone, we've sold over $500,000 worth of spices. That's so crazy.
Shekhar Maheshwari from Team Your Guide Towards Interviewing Skills. Today, we are going to discuss how to find information about the company that you will be interviewing for. In our previous video, I talked about 10 tips for a successful interview, and the first tip I mentioned was do your homework by reading a little bit about the company. So, what are those things that you can do one day before your interview to gain an insight about the company, who is also your potential future employer? Are you ready to impress your interviewer with some valuable facts and answers about their company? Let's see how you can do this. There are two kinds of details you can always look to know more about the company you are interviewing for: factual and descriptive. Let me start with the factual details that can be simply found out from their website. For example, list of their founders, year of foundation of the company, names of their directors like CEO, CTO, CFO, or MD of the department you are going to interview for, their revenue, their stock price, number of employees they have, or their headquarters. These are mostly one-word answers that are to the point, and you will have to make sure you remember them correctly. Now, here are the descriptive details that you can look for. History or stories behind the foundation of this organization. These can be really fun and inspiring stories sometimes. The About Us page on the company website will mostly give you an insight of the kind of work they do, along with messages or testimonials from the leaders of the company. Most importantly, this page will also have links or details of company's values, their vision, mission, their achievements, awards, and so on. Once you are done exploring their website, check their latest updates, which you'll see either mostly on their website or also on their Facebook page. For example, any latest products or tools they are working on, or any recent announcements. Some websites are very helpful to read reviews from existing or past employees about the company's culture, average salaries, interview questions, and their overall ratings. Another interesting thing you could do is check latest tweets from the company or any of its popular leaders, which you can mention while you answer their questions in your interview. For example, if they ask, "Why should we hire you?" you can always say, "I have read so and so about the company and it is highly motivating." You can also say something like, "I wish to see myself as a part of your workforce which has so many success stories," or something like, "I share my values with your company and understand your vision towards which I would like to contribute." Praising the interviewer with their company's achievements will show them your enthusiasm and eagerness to join them. And, of course, the effort you have put for doing your homework about the company will be clearly visible. This will give you the extra edge in cracking that interview and getting the job you badly want. So, folks, that's all for today. It's always the best to read as much you can about the company one day before the interview, as that will definitely help you frame your answers that are relevant and in the right direction. If you are looking for any job, register yourself on teamlease.com and subscribe to our channel for
And these are some of the questions. Everyone be active. I'll be asking these questions and I want your answers. How will you answer? Tell me about yourself. Just tell me how will you introduce yourself. How are you going to introduce yourself? These are some common questions asked everyone. Hello? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
These are some common questions asked. Just answer them. Tell me about yourself. How will you answer? अभी आपने वीडियो में भी नहीं आंसर किया ये वाली चीज. Tell me about yourself is the question where you will answer in just like 2 or 3 lines about you, about your qualifications, and about your prior experiences. If no, then as a fresher, you and your qualifications. That's it. Understood? Do not go up to your family members or anything which is not relevant. Next question. Why should I hire you? इसका दोनों वीडियो में क्वेश्चन का आंसर बताया. Please, why should I hire you? Answer to this question. These questions are for you people only. अगर आप गलत लिखोगे तो उसको ठीक करने के लिए अभी है. Why should I hire you? इसका आपके पास क्या जवाब होगा? I am capable for the post and my qualification is the criteria for post. Okay. स्किल बताएंगे आपको. जैसे कि which is being asked. Why should I hire you? What if they will say कि जितने अभी तक इंटरव्यू के लिए आए सब उन रिक्वायरमेंट्स को फुलफिल कर रहे हैं? Then why you? And if you do not want to write, you can unmute and speak. You see me as a part of the workforce which has very successful. Yes. Now here comes the point where you will start giving compliments to the company. Okay. Suppose next question is here, what are your strengths and your weaknesses? What will you mention in your weaknesses? Why somebody will tell about their weakness? As I'm a fresher, I'm a flexible person and is belong quickly in any kind of the role. Okay? As a learner, you are just telling yourself you're a keen learner. I clearly confess all the student pattern and required for this person. If you are very your company. As a fresher parent, you can add value to their company. मैंने आपको एक ऑब्जेक्टिव में बताया था इसका आंसर. If they will ask how you can add value to our company, how? Please answer this. Be ready for all the first questions around. These questions can be asked in your interview. These are the questions which have been asked to me also. And other people can tell what weaknesses they can tell in the interview. If somebody is asking, interviewer is asking you about the strengths and weaknesses, then what weaknesses you can tell. Why somebody will tell their weaknesses? Answer these questions, Vijay. Why do you want to work at our company? Why do you want to work at our company? जो आपने company research किया है, prior work किया है, आपने homework किया है, here it will help you. Can someone tell about the answers? If you don't want to write, can unmute and speak. No message, no replies. What is the difference between confidence and overconfidence? Unmute and speak. What is the difference between confident and overconfident? nobody wants to participate. Session end करना है यही. No contribution. What is the difference between confidence and overconfidence? I can do it all. It's only I can do this. Yes, Stuti Mishra. What was the difference between hard work and smart work? Do not copy from the Google, just say what you think about these questions. What is the difference between hard work and smart work? And I'm again asking strengths and weaknesses, and what will you write in your weaknesses? If you do not know, then let me know now. I will answer. What will you write in your weaknesses, and what is the difference between hard work and smart work? Anyone? Hard work is doing efforts and smart work is doing less effort and tasks. The smart works work everywhere, not hard work. So it's full physical potential of smart work, strong mental capabilities. What are your goals? If our interviewer is asking what are your goals, how will you answer this question? What are your goals? And what motivates you to do the job? Stuti, Sahil, what will you write in your weaknesses, Vijay? Strength, everybody will tell. But in weaknesses, how you can turn this point in your favor? How you can turn your weaknesses as your strength? How you can mention your weaknesses as the strength? What kind of weaknesses you can speak? Science, Stuti, Priyanka, Vinay. Anyone? I trust my team to work better. This is the answer of what side? Your weaknesses. I think trusting is a weakness. And what if you will not trust them? Will it not be weakness? What is the weakness? Trusting or not trusting? Trust तो must है बच्चे. आप अपने टीम पे ट्रस्ट नहीं करोगे तो किस पे करोगे? I am asking weaknesses. आप कैसे मेंशन करोगे अपने weaknesses इंटरव्यूअर को? कि वो weakness लगे भी ना, जो उनकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन या आपकी कैपेबिलिटी पे कोई भी इफेक्ट ना लाए. Such kind of weaknesses you need to mention. Can someone tell the examples? Sometimes it makes like I am depending on my team. But teamwork तो must है ना बच्चे. आप सारा काम अकेले कर नहीं कर सकते. Friendly attitude is weakness as well as strength. Yes. Yes, Stuti. Sahil, I want this answer. Sometimes it makes like I am depending on my team. Why? You do your portion, they will do their portion. And if they are not able to do their portion, then it's your task to motivate them. Engulfed in one particular work that makes me delay in work. Then it's your task to motivate them. But this is the question which has been asked like number of interviewers. Tell me your weaknesses, and then they will cross questions on them. No more answers. Then tell me the answer. What motivates you to do a good job? What motivates you to do a good job? Please speak other than salary. I think my biggest weakness is that I have this need to overachieve, which sometimes becomes my biggest enemy because I put myself through a lot of hard work. Yes, you can write this. Who's this? Vinay? Yes, this is right. What motivates you to do a good job? Corporate cultures might be a motivation. Corporate culture is quite hectic. My weakness is that I work something, but I think it is not enough, and I work more on that. It is my weakness. So, is it punishment for this? Punish yourself for this? Work something. Means you work. When you work, you want to complete that work. Until unless it is not completed, you will not exist. So no. So, So the corporate cultures might be a motivation because you are interested in the corporate culture, because you are doing the job which you like, do what you like and like what you do is the strategy here. Anjali, give me the answer to this. What makes you angry? Please just think before you speak. What makes you angry? You are answering this answer to an interviewer. What makes you angry? Anyone? You need to answer this question as it should. At 4. Answer these questions first. 1 hour to go. ट्रेन में बच्चों पूरे मैसेज में सिर्फ एक मैसेज है, वो भी ये आपका. So the next question, would you lie for the company? Can anyone answer this? Would you lie for the company? If an interviewer is asking you, would you lie for the company? What will you answer? Criticism, orthodox rule, mentality makes you angry. This is Priya. But this is the culture, Hanji Vinay. You can unmute and speak. Orthodox rooted patriarchal mentality. Okay, Priyanka. I can tolerate your tantrums from your organization till I am not correct. If I am doing hard work and you are not appreciating it, might be a discussion. ये आप एंग्री बता रहे हो, उनको वार्निंग दे रहे हो आप ये वाली चीज. If it benefits the company or increase the reputation of the company. Okay, Sahil, this is the answer. Would you lie for the company? Yes. If it is not, harming anybody's emotions, then you can lie for the company. It should be the answer. I can tolerate your tantrums from your organization. Okay, if you made a mistake, then only you will listen to the else. Nobody can come to me. But there is a lot more patience required when you work. Anything else anybody wants to mention? Yes, Stuti, you were not telling you were angry. You were like I'm giving you the warning. If I'm not mistaken, you will blame me. Only you can resign, nothing else. It is your, what do I say? It is your. Ma'am, but sometimes our seniors took our credit, so what can we do in that situation? You can make sure that your work is being presented by you in such a manner. You represent your work to your seniors in such a manner that they need your help for some of the things. If they will take your work and represent it to someone else, then they will not be able to answer the cross questions will be asked by the other people. It happens with number of people. It happened with me too. Just be smart with your work, okay? Be friendly, but do not trust anyone blindly. When you are doing some work, please make it sure that you only present that work. Do not share your work with anyone. Yes. Okay, so good. Just never. There is a huge difference between being straightforward and being blunt. Just be straightforward. Don't be blunt. Always be a smart answerer. Just prepare yourself with these questions, everyone. These are the questions which are commonly asked. Once I was asked, what is the difference between a pocket money and a salary? Can anyone answer this? I was asked the question, what is the difference between a pocket money and a salary? Who will answer? Then I will tell my answer. What is the difference between a pocket money and a salary? Give me a good reply, okay? We doing on pocket money. Salary has earned. We doing on pocket money is not fixed salary. When fixed salary is fixed. Pocket money is higher than your salary, Karthik. Pocket money is nothing but just you ask the amount from your parents. Don't earn. Yes, pocket money is given by the guardians and salary is earned from organization. We do not earn pocket money. So is this the only difference in your life about the pocket money? Pocket money is generally provided. Pocket money is the money of personal expenses and salaries for family expenses. Sahil. Currently, if whatever the salary I'm getting, it is all spent on me only. Currently, it's for family expenses. If your family is dependent on you, then only you can say this line. Whenever you change the perspective of anything, answer will get changed. Pocket money can adjust to it, salary cannot. Can be adjusted. My goodness, do this, Vinay Kumar. Priyanka, pocket money is generally provided by the parents to children without paying efforts and salaries earned. Yes. I think what I answered, it was salary is a pride. When you get the salary, you feel the proud. But pocket money is like, yes, we'll get something. Pride, for some people, those who don't work, pocket money is also pride. But salary is a pride, not pocket money. When you're dependent, then it's a pocket money. When you're not dependent, then it is a salary. That was the answer. These are also right. Everybody has their own perspective. Anything else anybody want to mention? See, there is a question. Pocket money, salary indirectly shows your potential. Salaries indirectly show your potential. Somehow, yes. And again, I'm saying if I change the perspective, then it will that statement will go in the other way. Sometimes you do not get the salary according to your potential. This way lower. And please, I would like to say don'ts also. There is a question, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Hanji, where do you see yourself in 5 years from now? Can anybody answer this? Do not come up with the answer, sir, at your place, on the other side of the... Do not come, मतलब किसी को काटने वाटने के लिए नहीं, at your position or at something, no. What will be the answer of this? Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Anji, answer this question too. I'm currently in middle management and after 5 years want to be at the top of... In 5 year top of the management. What if the other person say, I'm here from last a decade, from a 10-year, I am also not setting the top management. How will you reach? Stuti, please. Answer. Currently the middle management. Okay. Listen, this answer is right. Stuti, this answer is absolutely right. Because you want to see the growth of yourself in the organization within 5 years. This is the positive approach to the answer, or to the question. But I'm just close questioning just to check your confidence about your answer. Better decision maker and a good team player. Better decision maker. Well, currently you are not a better decision maker, Pragya. Listen, it is not necessary to write such paragraphs. You can just unmute and speak. They'll be, more flexible. अगर आपको लिखना है तो मैं आपको Google form share कर देती हूँ. Just write there and submit. Where do you see yourself better from the past? Of course. Better from the past, but where? Level up, getting promotions, doing the smart work. Yes, anybody wants to speak can speak. Let's make this session 2-way now. Why only am I speaking? Better from the past, yes. What if the question has been asked on a scale of 1 to 10, rate me as an interviewer? How will you answer this? Just don't go like 10 on 10, sir. You are very nice, sir. Just don't do buttering there. How will you answer this question? At higher position in your institution, right? Section. Read my above paragraphs. Wait. Ma'am, if they'll ask me that even if I'm not at the top management, so how can you? So I can answer that your and my potential are way too different. You are not there to argue, Stuti. You are not there to argue. You cannot. This is when tables will turn. Now, when you will enter the company, you can speak such things. You should not, but at the end somehow you can. But you are not the part of the company. They are there to hire you. You cannot come, sir, you are less potential. I am high. I have more potential than you. No, Stuti. See, do not question the other person potential. Your intentions were not wrong. This is what first impression went through your message. Who is this class? The class will get over at 4. Class will get over at 4. These are some important questions, बच्चे. Please do answer these questions. And इसके बाद एक और topic and then I'll over the class. Okay. Priya and Renu. Do you have any questions for me? This is the question asked by the interview. Like always, it has been asked. Do you have any questions? What type of questions will you ask? What type of questions will you ask? I'll show you mock interview also, live mock interview, how it has been conducted. Do you have any questions for me? If asked by an interviewer, how will you answer? No replies. No answers. Just have this link. I might ask them that how much you work hard for this position. Who's this? Stuti? What if they are just the HR? Ma'am entered this year only. One can ask about their experience in organization. Ma'am, ये तो normal था. This is normal. This is normal. Stuti, this is normal. Okay, you will ask this. Any more questions will you ask, Stuti? Mayank, one can ask about their experience in organization. Yes. What other questions you may ask? अभी आपका interview है. You can ask, sir, am I selected or not? This is a valid question. They will always say, ma'am, we will let you know. But you may ask them, no, sir, how was my interview? How will you rate them? How will you rate me? What were my, flaws? Ask such questions. How much time did it take for you to reach at the certain position? Personal like, dislike about the firm. Their personal likes and dislike about the firm. Stuti, they will never tell their dislikes. Because you are not their friend, you are not part of the organization, they will not come up with such thing. How much time did it take? Ask about yourself. Now, sir, tell me my flaws, how on which I can work on. What do you think about my interview? But they give answer our question. Mom, that they give answer our question. They will tell there is no dislikes. Everything is fine, and that is why I'm working here in this organization from so year. Anyone more questions? Nobody will ask, how was my interview? What do you think? You took my interview. What do you think about me? What do you think where I am lacking? The areas I need to work. This is the link, everyone. Please do copy and fill the form. This is the Google form. Fill this form. I'm giving you 10 minutes. You have 10 minutes. Fill this form. Anybody wants to ask anything? Chat में भेज दीजिए. Chat. Please have this link. Link has been sent. बच्चे, please do check the link. Chats, स्तुति chats में अभी भेजा बच्चे. Wait. Received. Fill this form. You have 10 minutes. I will close the form at 3:40. So 3:35. I will close the form at 3:35. Fill the form. Anji, who is speaking? Please speak. If any questions, do ask.
यो ही कब से साइलेंट पड़ा हुआ फोन मेरा?
अभी हुआ साइलेंट, पहले क्लास में चल रही थी, बोल रहे थे अभी हुआ। वहाँ उसका ढक्कन उठा के करा करना वहाँ। बदबू करती है, मैंने सारा धोया वो आके यहाँ बैठेंगे बदबू आएगी, अच्छा लगेगा? इतना बड़ा बच्चा है, पेट में मत इस तरह से बाहर डाल। पीछे सो लिया तूने, मुझे सोने दे। कहाँ सो लिया मैं? सो जा।
5 more minutes. This is the responses. Shivangi, Harshit and Muskan are the only students, those who have submitted yet. Muskan got it. Only these people, Shivangi, Harshit, Muskan and Shubham Sharma. Only 4 responses now. Yet. Your evaluation will be done on the basis of your Google form, your contribution, and your resume, which will be uploaded on the Google form. I'll send you the link. Team responses. Okay, let's start. जिसको fill करना है वो बाद में करता रहेगा. We'll start with the next topic. Responding to the initial communication of call for interview. हाँ जी, आपके पास कॉल आई है. How will you initially या face to face conferencing है या audio call है? How will you respond? What is the initial responding जो आपने greetings में भी पढ़ी होगी? हाँ जी, initial responding. Let's see the video.
Telephonic or video interview. In this lesson, the learner will be able to understand what is an interview, telephone or video interview, types of telephone interviews, remembering interview goals, reviewing CV, having successful in telephonic interview. What is an interview? In an employment context, job interview describes a formal interaction. Thereby, you are showcasing your skills and knowledge to your interviewer to prove that you are the fittest of the applicants for the position or job you applied. Hello, good morning. I am Shweta, HR manager calling from.
Please listen to this interview. This is a type of mock interview. Okay, how it happened, how the other person will reply. Do check what type of questions have been asked. See this video quite carefully.
Zeal Private Limited, Bengaluru. Am I talking to Mr. Sam Daniel?
Yeah, Miss Shweta. Happy morning.
We had received your resume and gone through your profile. It seems very nice. Can I have interactions for a few minutes with you?
Yes, Miss Shweta.
Can you tell us something about yourself? Okay, fine. What do you know about us?
I see that your company does a lot of projects, which is quite interesting.
Can you tell us something about your previous boss?
All my bosses possessed some skills worth learning. I have always tried to learn something new from them, including my previous boss.
Assuming that you're selected, what will be your strategy for next 60 days?
If I am selected for this position, I'll use my role carefully in terms of increasing the overall profitability.
How would you improve upon our product or company?
Having worked closely with product development team, I understand how the research for product development is carried out.
Don't you think you are overqualified for this position?
Basically, the learning process continues, and I don't think I am overqualified.
Is there anything that you do not like about your last or current job?
The number of challenges and opportunity to grow further started diminishing.
Will you be okay in taking a salary cut?
I believe that at one point of time in career, self-actualization become more important.
Why do you want to leave your present job?
I think I want to grow further, and I believe that is possible with a new employer.
What do you do to improve your knowledge?
It is extremely important to keep abreast with the new technological developments, and this needs me to take some time out of my work schedule so that I can keep sharpening my saw.
Tell us some of your strengths.
Team management skills, problem solving, and communication.
Tell us some of your weaknesses and how do you plan to overcome it?
I am always willing to take up additional responsibilities, but I end up being overworked, so now I am realistic about what I can do so that I do work to the required standards.
How do you rate your communication skills?
In the scale of 1 to 10, it is 9.
How would you compensate for the lack of experience you have for this position?
I have the ability to understand and pick up new things quickly.
What is your style of management?
Situational leadership.
Is there any particular kind of person you cannot work with?
No.
What qualities would you look for in your senior?
Intelligence, good sense of humor, etc.
What motivates you at work?
New challenges.
What position would you prefer while working on a project?
Middle level management.
Why should we hire you?
I will always be willing to share responsibilities to suit the requirements.
What is your idea of an ideal company?
Maximum opportunities for growth of employees.
Why do you want to work for us?
It is an opportunity to enhance my knowledge and help the organization as well to grow professionally.
Are you willing to relocate?
Yes.
What is your current CTC and what are your expectations?
My current CTC is 5 lakh per annum and my expectation which match my self-actualization.
Are you planning to go for further studies?
Yes.
Tell us something about your hobbies.
Surfing, blogging, listening to music, reading newspapers and books, and watching movies.
For how long do you expect to stay with our organization?
I will stay here as far as I see an opportunity for growth and stability in workplace.
What is more important to you, money or success?
I would choose success. The reason being, if one is successful, money often follows and you need not focus on money over success.
Do you have any questions for us?
Yes. Whether the company allows for lateral and vertical role changes. Whether the company has plans for expansion. Okay, fine.
Okay, Mr. Sam Daniel. Thank you for attending the interview. We will let you know the updates at the earliest. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Shweta.
Telephonic or video interview. With increased globalization, teams today are dispersed around the world. It is increasingly common for leaders in country to have team members in another country. Selection interviews in such cases happen across the globe through teleconference or sometimes over video conference. This not only reduces the cost of travel and related logistics for the employer, but it is also faster and more efficient. Such interviews are often scheduled as a multi-step process. A telephonic screen test, that is, where a large number of candidates are spread across multiple countries or cities. A selection interview over phone or video, that is, where a select set of shortlisted candidates are spread across a few locations. Telephone interviews can be of two types, automated, non-automated. In automated telephone interviews, you have to answer a fixed sequence of questions. This process is used during calls intended for initial screening or reference checks. In non-automated telephonic or video interviews, which are far more common, you discuss various aspects carefully with the interviewer who is sitting at the other end of the phone or the video conference setup. This is usually less formatted and more free-flowing. Here, it is all up to you to present yourself appropriately during the call. You naturally need to be conscious of the 3 C's: calm, careful, and confident. Now, let us understand the points to be remembered for preparing for an interview. They are: define role, identify goals, prepare a list of questions, review CV, other arrangements. Now, let us understand the goals to be remembered before attending an interview. The interviewer will be intended to assess knowledge, skills, abilities, to evaluate job fit vis-a-vis the role. To hire the best candidate for the job, the interviewee has to focus on the following goals: to fully understand the job, to match skills and experience to the job, to demonstrate a best fit, review your CV, confirm experience match, number of years, relevant industries, relevant job functions, degrees and education, identify track record of results, number of types of jobs, key accomplishments, confirm relevant domain knowledge, confirm relevant technical capabilities, specific technology skills, technology project experiences. Let us understand successful telephonic interview. Never jump to take an unexpected or unplanned call. Keep your resume handy. Rehearse answers related to your accomplishments. Keep your research material ready to act as reference point. Stay ready to take notes. Keep yourself calm in body and mind. Make sure you need no break during the call. Turn off call waiting on your phone. Turn off your stereo, TV and any other possible interruption. Have a glass of water handy. Warm up your voice while waiting for the call. Listening skill is a crucial component during the interview process. Comprehend the questions well and give to the point answers. Avoid talking in between and let the recruiter complete his thought or question before you speak. It is important to speak at a slow pace and be clear so that the interviewer can understand what you're saying. Do not use unprofessional language and sound courteous and polite. Thank the interviewer once the interview process is complete. Finally, be ready with the answers to the basic questions and rehearse them in front of the mirror to gain confidence. Let us recall what we have learned so far. What is an interview? Telephone or video interview. Types of telephone interviews. Remembering interview goals. Reviewing CV. Having successful in telephonic interview.
What are the 3 C's she mentioned in her video? 3 C's required for an interview. Anyone? What are the 3 C's जो भी वीडियो में मेंशन किए हैं? हाँ जी, टेलीफोनिक इंटरव्यू है, चाहे ऑडियो चाहे वीडियो. She said 3 C's are confidence. Yes, Karthik. Calm, confident. Yes. Siddhi. They are. Anyone else? Anyone else? Creative, no, no sample. It was calm, confident, and careful. Okay, the interview, whenever you have the interview, either online or offline, either video or audio, some of the things you need to test, some of the things you need to, get ready, priorly get ready. Test your technology beforehand. Hanji, what does this mean? What does this mean? Test your technology beforehand. It means a virtual interview requires tools like a camera and a microphone on your computer, a software program like Zoom, and a reliable internet connection. You really need a good internet connection before you start your interview call. हाँ जी, समझ आ रहा है? Following up the instructions or not? Hello? Is anyone following up the instructions?
Yes, ma'am.
Then second is wear professional attire. हाँ जी, ये आपको ड्रेसिंग एटिकेट्स में बताया था. अगर आपका ऑफलाइन नहीं है, अगर ऑनलाइन आपका इंटरव्यू है, then also it is mandatory to wear a formal dress. Prepare in advance. Go to company research. Prepare your common question asked. Review your CV. What are the 3 formats of the CV? Anyone? 3 formats of the CV. First चीज आज हमने CVs resumes के बारे में पढ़े थे. resume and CV. What are the 3 formats? Polling भी हुई थी उनके लिए. Which format do you support? So what are the 3 formats? Does anyone remember what are the 3 formats which was mentioned at the very first topic? Skill based, yes. Vinay? Skill based was your functional. Chronological, yes. Chronological, functional, and third one is hybrid, yes. These were the 3 formats. And which was the more preferred one? Which was often preferred by the company? Which is suggested to you people? Chronological, yes. Chronological is more preferred by the company or by the organizations because it is like, they do not have much time to see or read the whole CV. They just have some seconds, like 10 seconds or 12 seconds to go through. जिसमें उनको आपकी चीजें ज़्यादा अच्छे से समझ आ जाएंगी, they will prefer that, which is chronological. Limit distractions. अगर आप ऑडियो पे बात कर रहे हो, घर में कोई कंस्ट्रक्शन ना हो या आप ऐसी जगह ना रह रहे हो जहाँ आपकी वॉइस क्लियर ना हो, ये सारी चीजें आपको पहले से करके रखनी है. यूज प्रोफेशनल बॉडी लैंग्वेज इवन इफ you are doing an online interview. Your hand posture, your sitting posture, your confidence, your eye contact, everything is same as of offline. And 6th is follow up. What do you understand by this follow up? Anji, what is follow up? Follow up का क्या मतलब होता है बच्चों? Suppose अभी आपका जो लेक्चर हुआ है उसके बाद I am saying if I am sending you a personal mail, if any further questions you have or anything related to my interview you want to say or you want to ask, then this is the follow up. आपका इंटरव्यू हुआ है, आपने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में मेल किया है कि I had a good experience after interview, after getting interviewed by your company or so manager or HR. Please let me know the results and revert after reviewing the marks. This is the follow-up. When you are contacting after the interview. Proceeding after completing the interview, yes. Yes, I. Okay, these are some of the tips and this is the last video of this lecture, I think.
Speaker offer. Course, Logical Thinking Math course. Age.
Hi there, my name is Richard McMunn from the interview training website, passmyinterview.com and interview. So if you have an online interview coming up, whether it's on HireView, Skype, Zoom, or it's pre-recorded, make sure you pay attention and stay tuned because I will help you to pass. And to achieve that goal, I'm going to give you 10 really important virtual interview tips that you don't want to miss out on. And just quickly, if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button because I want to help you pass your interview.
Do listen to this video, anyone. These are 10 tips
and it motivates me to create more for you. Thank you very much. Okay, let's get straight into those 10 virtual job interview tips, and I'll teach you how to pass your interview. Virtual interview tip number 1 is to make sure you download and test the job interview software well in advance of your interview. So don't make the mistake of downloading the interview software a few minutes before your interview is due to start. You should download the platform and create an account at least 24 hours before the interview is due to start. So whether it's Zoom, Skype, HireView, or whatever the platform is, make sure you download the software and get familiar with it well in advance of the interview. You should also make sure that your device, whether it's a smartphone or a laptop, is fully charged for the interview, because if you run out of battery, you will fail the interview. And also, make sure you log on to the virtual interview software at least 10 minutes before the scheduled start time of your interview, and you can compose yourself. Virtual job interview tip number 2. Choose a location for your virtual interview that has a strong internet connection or Wi-Fi. Because if your internet or Wi-Fi fails during the virtual interview, you probably won't get a second chance. So make sure you test the internet connection with the door closed. And finally, make sure the light in the room from any windows is in front of you and never behind you. Because if the light is behind you, the interviewer might not be able to see you. Virtual job interview tip number 3. Make sure you test your microphone, speakers and the sound settings before your virtual interview starts. So do your headphones or speakers work? Is your microphone working? And do you need to access and change your computer or laptop settings for your chosen headset, microphone or speakers to work? Because if your virtual interview starts and the interviewer can't hear you, or you can't hear them, it shows that you are disorganized. Virtual job interview tip number 4 is a really quick one, but very, very important. Make sure there are no distractions in your home or office where the virtual interview is going to take place. So tell people in the building that you are having an online interview and they should not disturb you for the next hour. So make sure the room you are having the virtual interview in is quiet and there are also no external noise distractions. Virtual job interview tip number 5 is to please make sure you dress professionally for your interview. Dress as you would do for a face-to-face interview, because how you dress for your virtual job interview is very important. It says a lot about your intentions. If you look smart and you are wearing professional attire, it tells the interviewer that you care about the job, and more importantly, it shows that you have very high standards. Virtual job interview tip number 6. Now this is very important, but it takes practice. Make sure you look into the webcam and not the screen. Now, a great way to establish a connection with the interviewer is to make sure you look at the camera on your laptop or your device. Because if you stare at the screen, you are not looking directly at the interviewer. Now, this takes practice, so make sure you try answering some of the more common virtual interview questions by looking at the webcam before the real interview starts. Virtual job interview tip number 7 is designed to build your confidence and set you up with a great start during your virtual job interview. And that is to make sure you get your answer ready for the first interview question that's going to be introduce yourself. Now, a great way to remember a brilliant answer to the question introduce yourself is to use the format SEAT, SEAT. Now, SEAT stands for the skills and qualities you have that are relevant to the role, any experience or educational qualifications you have, any achievements of significance that you have demonstrated in previous roles, and also finish off with the type of person you are. Now, if you want to see a brilliant example answer to the virtual interview question, introduce yourself, make sure you click that link right now at the top of the video, and it will take you through to one of my brilliant tutorials right here on YouTube, where I give you the perfect answer to the question, introduce yourself. Virtual job interview tip number 8 is about body language and interview technique. A couple of really important tips. Make sure you sit upright in the chair throughout the virtual interview. Make sure you smile as much as possible, because this will attract positivity and it will tell the interviewer that you are an upbeat person. Make sure you listen to the interviewer whilst they are speaking and show that you are interested through body language and facial expressions. And also, most importantly, be positive at all times during the interview. Now, to achieve all of these things, make sure you practice recording yourself the day before the interview to see how you come across on camera. And you'll be surprised at how much this tip improves your confidence for the real virtual job interview. Virtual interview tip number 9 is to make sure you prepare answers to the following interview questions. Now, these questions come up all the time during virtual interviews, so it's important that you have great answers already prepared. Introduce yourself. Why do you want to work for us? What's your biggest weakness? What are your strengths? Why do you want to leave your current job? Why should we hire you? What do you know about our company? And what experience do you have relevant to this position? Now, if you want to download brilliant answers to these interview questions and more, make sure you click that link right now in the top right-hand corner of the video. It takes you through to my website, passmyinterview.com, and you can download brilliant example answers to these virtual job interview questions and more. Virtual job interview tip number 10 is to make sure you have 3 questions to ask at the end of your virtual interview. Now, the interviewer is likely to say to you, that's the end of the virtual interview. Would you like to ask me any questions? Do not fall into the trap of saying, no, it's okay, I don't have any questions, you covered everything during the interview. This is a missed opportunity. Ask 3 questions that show that you are a smart employee. Question number 1, how has this role evolved over the years? That's a great question. Question number 2, what's the culture like within the company? And question number 3, what are the plans for the business over the next few years? So there's 10 brilliant virtual job interview tips to make you the standout candidate during your virtual job interview. Don't forget to check out that link where you can download
These were the videos of today's lecture. And everyone, this is the link where you need to upload your resume. Got the link, everyone? Upload your resume by Monday. Are you following the instructions?
Yes, ma'am.
Just follow the instructions. Do upload your resume. Your evaluation will be based upon the forms, the question you have written, answer you have written, and your resume and your participation in the class. Do upload your resume on this form. And in this class, we have learned how to make the resume, your attire, your body language, what are the expected questions, and company research. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Recording stopped.